Take your specimen slide off the stage and insert your ChromaCal calibration slide. Here is some overall guidance regarding the use of the ChromaCal slide. Take an image of the ChromaCal slide at any time during the microscope session. The ChromaCal slide image needs to be taken only once per imaging session. The ChromaCal slide image does not have to be taken at the same magnification as your specimen images. Although, do not capture the image using an oil or water immersion lens. A new ChromaCal image does not have to be taken if you change the illumination levels. As this guidance demonstrates, ChromaCal is very easy to use and simple to include within your existing workflow. Place ChromaCal slide on microscope and locate the center where the color matrices exist. Note that guidelines are provided to assist you in locating the color matrices. Once you locate the matrices, focus. You may have seen a micrometer grid. This is provided for your optional use, but it is not part of the color calibration. Two matrices are provided as a convenience. You only need to take an image of one color matrix. The size of the matrix need not take up the entire screen, but use the largest matrix where all 20 spots are visible. Now here's what is seen on a computer screen in this version of camera software. Note that the orientation of the color matrix doesn't matter. The most critical step now lies in setting the correct exposure for the ChromaCal slide. If you have exposure set to auto, you will likely see a very bright set of spots and therefore be overexposed. You need to find the auto exposure button in your version of camera software and turn it off. Here it's turned off by unchecking each of the auto exposure categories. Then adjust exposure manually in the camera software or adjust illumination on the microscope. Here exposure is adjusted in camera software by adjusting the gain and shutter sliders. Adjust until you can see a difference between the tones of the brightest two spots. When correct, the corner spot should be dull white, not bright white, and the second spot should be easily differentiated. Alternatively, you can adjust until the darkest two spots on the matrix are difficult to make out by eye. When exposure is correct using either method, the overall matrix image will appear dark. You will see a difference in the tones of the brightest two spots, and the two darkest spots should barely be visible. Here is an example of a properly and improperly exposed calibration slide image. Note that it's important to keep your eye on the white spot to see when it becomes slightly gray. Keep in mind that you can err on the side of underexposure without any effect on the integrity of the calibration. And, by the way, if you're comfortable with histograms, a properly exposed calibration slide should have a histogram which generally looks like this. The entire histogram is within the camera's dynamic range, with the peak at the right end representing the white spot. When exposure is correct, acquire the calibration slide image and save preferably as a TIFF file, although ChromaCal also supports JPEG files. The recommendation is to save the file with the 7-digit slide serial number as part of the file name. This method provides a useful reference when you open the image later within the ChromaCal software. You are now ready to calibrate your specimen images with the ChromaCal software.